Alright, so what it's going to do is demonstrate how this Xplane works. What I've got here is a Cessna Skyhawk, I believe, that I'm flying. In order to get started, you can actually choose whether or not you want the plane to be running when you start up that particular, when you choose that particular plane in the menu system. But what I find is kind of interesting is trying to figure out how to get the plane started. Sometimes I'll spend, especially if I get into like a fighter jet or something like that, which I know nothing about in terms of starting one, you can spend a good 30 minutes just trying to get the engines to start. But in a Cessna, it's a little easier, or at least this one only took me about 5 minutes to try to figure out. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to start out in Xplane, to start with a Cessna. But as far as getting started, what you do is you need to make sure that you've got your mixtures set appropriately in order or else the engine won't start. So in this particular case, I've got the throttle set up here so that the mixture is all the way in. This current throttle needs to be down, and once you have that set, all you have to do basically is turn your main power system on so that your navigation systems will work. And then, so we'll just switch those on. As you can tell, our yoke works. My foot pedals, put my feet on them here. Everything seems to be working there. The brake is currently on, so even if I was to start the engine, the plane isn't going to move. And that's actually going to be the next step of what I'm going to do. So we're going to make a few clicks here. So we'll get the plane started. The other thing I was going to mention is that there is down here to the right of the foot pedals on the screen is a trim adjustment wheel. We'll get into what you would use that for later on in the flight. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take off. So I'm going to take both my feet and press them forward, and that will release the brake. And then I'm just going to throttle up. And now, because I released the brake, I'm moving slowly into kind of a taxi speed. So for takeoff, what we want to do is essentially steer with our feet and try to do just very, very tiny movements in order to keep the plane straight. You're going to probably hear possibly a little bit of skidding noises. That just means that you're kind of going off a little bit more than you should. And I should say this, you're going to do that a lot when you're getting used to foot pedals. But as you start to understand and get more used to it, hopefully some of that will start to disappear. What I have found works really well is to push your foot in the direction that you want to go, as far as if you're trying to get used to how you're supposed to move your feet to turn. And just do that. Just know that if I want to go over there, I need my left foot to be pushed over there. If I want to go to the right, I need to push my right foot over to the right. And as you can tell, the plane is moving just a little bit right now. So I'm going to throttle up, and I tend to throttle up quickly to full. And I don't spend a whole lot of time just meandering around the runway too slowly, because you end up getting kind of out of control. So we're just going to throttle up. See, I did an overcorrection there a little bit and got a little out of whack. So now I'm just going to go up to full. Just going to keep a straight line. And then we're going to pull back on the yoke. And we're going to climb. Now when I took off that time, I did not put any flaps into that because I've got a really long runway and I didn't really need it. But if I had a shorter runway, I would have dropped this blue lever down probably a notch, maybe 2 notches depending, and that would give me a shorter takeoff. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to climb. And we just took off from LaGuardia Airport. And as you can tell, you can see the city in the background. Currently, this setup is not set exactly how I want it. As you can tell, this is not correct. and that angle isn't correct, but there's a whole lot of reading I got to do on all the different offsets and the angles and things like that. There's just a lot of parameters that have to get plugged in order for it to be correct. But for the moment, I just want to fly. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just basically getting to an altitude. I'm at 1,000 feet, just hit 1,000 feet right now. I'm leveling it out now, and this is where we're going to get into the trim. So the plane is trimmed out pretty well as it is, but it is climbing slightly. I don't want to sit and push in on the yoke and just hold it there. You actually end up getting a lot of like arm fatigue that way if you're doing that. What you want to do is trim the plane for level flight. So I'm going to just use this knob, and down at the bottom you can see the wheel turning, and now I'm going to have it set so that it'll fly level and not gain or lose a lot of altitude. And all I have to do is basically keep the plane level going left to right. And most of the time, depending on whether it's bumpy or not, you may not have to do a whole lot of movement of the stick at all. And so now we're basically just in cruise mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down, and we're going to go back to LaGuardia Airport and land. So I'm going to make a left turn. By doing that, to make the left turn, I'm actually pushing my foot in with the left, and I'm kind of making the ass end of the plane kind of come around. And then I'm just sort of countering that with a little bit of right aileron to kind of level the plane out. But what that does is it gives the plane a yaw, so the tail end kind of swings out. Basically, we're going to identify our runway. I think you can see it down there. I'm going to slow down just a little bit here, increase the richness of the engine. And I'm going to check my flaps. I'm going to bring those down just a little bit to slow my airspeed down and bring the power down. And I'm going to rudder to the right. Slow down even more. And then I'm basically going to do a little bit of left rudder, coordinated turn so I can line up on the runway. Maybe a little more flap, a little less speed. And then we're going to come in, and now we're lined up pretty nicely. I'm just going to eke this landing out. I'm not going to try to force it on the ground. I just want to come in as steady as I can. I'm going to apply brake, and then steer at the same time. And then I'm just going to apply the brakes some more until we've stopped. The problem I'm having with my brakes right now is that my chair slides, so I need to get a stiff chair for this, but I'll just stop the engine and we'll roll to a stop. And that's really all there is to it. So anyways, we're down safe. Hope you enjoy the flight, and if you have any questions about Xplane, just let me know.